Okay. I'm going to give it a bit of a time. So this is my third attempt to going live, and for some reason the thing keeps on shutting down, and I have to start over and over again. It makes no sense. But since I've seen that going through this thing, it's not the way forward. So I do like this and hope that it's okay. So a few minutes then start. So let's go right. Let's go right. Um, that same year they released the Incredible Hulk. So the Incredible Hulk was like this. It's not really a sequel to Incredible Hulk, but it was like a reboot to the Hulk. So the first Hulk we had was like a very ravage Hulk that doesn't have to control his emotion and just keep on walking and jamming and smashing thing. And I also want to believe that this Hulk thing was also not like a box office thing, but it was enough. I think right now I'm just going to be doing um my stuff from here, my search from here. I have no idea what the issue is, but hopefully it course correct itself. What's going on? Okay, okay. Um, and I'm trying this comeback, and my worst enemy will be Nigerian network. It makes absolutely no sense. Well, anyhow, let's do this. So let's put you like a quick search and see this. Also, yeah, the Incredible Hulk grossed $264.8 million worldwide. So that one too wasn't really like the biggest thing ever, but it was enough for them to take a pause and realize that okay, what can we do? Then they released Iron Man 2 sequel, and let's check Iron Man 2 box office. It had 623.2, and the budget was like $200 million. So you see, these movies during the phase one of the Infinity Saga, the Marvel MCU phase, all those movies they were not the biggest thing in the world, but at least there were stuff that Marvel was able to look at and say that we have something here. We have fans. Fans want this thing. Fans love this thing. So what can we do? What can we? How can we build this thing forward? And they started of this. Let's start the phase one, the phase two, and people start moving to Marvel. People start moving to the MCU because there was something to look forward to. There was always at the end of the movie there is this end credit that leads to something that's going to happen in the future. So there's something there, and people love it. Now, um interestingly, fans also find this kind of thing relatable because it was something they wanted. Like, if you grow up reading comics and you're watching a particular set of cartoons and everything, the thing becomes cringy the older you grow up, that people start to look at you as weird. Friends start to look at you. Some, I'm still live, so I don't know what was happening. Friends start to look at you some type of way. So when they start this structure of let's do this thing this way, let's modernize this stuff, people were like, now I can be fans of comics, I can be fans of these movies. And they pioneered this system that people want to be part of something big. They want to be part of this thing called the comic book movie universe, because it's something that everyone was now part of. Every actor want to be part of the MCU. They want to be part of Marvel. They want to be part of Disney. Every fan want to call themselves um they want to call themselves not, because it's cool. When you know what's going on, when you go on a date and you're telling your girlfriend the history of Iron Man, they are going to listen because it's not something to shy of. So they pioneered this stuff that people wanted, and over the years, people became fans for this kind of thing. That's why now there are more Marvel fans than there are DC. Now, you can argue that maybe there are more DC fans or there are more Marvel fans. The truth is that Marvel is the thing that everyone wants to be part of, because it's more cooler, it's more relatable, it's more, yeah, I'm a Marvel fan, so there's nothing to be ashamed of. But if you're a DC fan, over the years something became weird. So now let's move on to DC. Let's talk about what exactly happened with DC. DC, they it all started with this Christopher Nolan. I think I watched like a few history. It's really not make it doesn't really make any sense, but basically, Christopher Nolan just came out writing the Dark Knight, and he has done his trilogy. And Warner Brothers was like, "Yo, we need money, so what do we do? We go to Christopher Nolan and we ask him that, can you make Superman?" And he was like, "I don't want to do superheroes. What do I do?" He just went to, I think, no. I think what happened was David S. Goya actually was on that pitch Superman to Christopher Nolan, which was his friend. And his friend was like, "I just do superhero stuff. What can I do?" And he he met like he met with the Warner Bros. Executive, and they were like, "You can go ahead, make your stuff. Let's see what you got." And they wrote a good script for Man of Steel, and the next thing they had to do was they had to bring in someone that could someone that could direct it. So Christopher Nolan sat down as a producer, then Goya as a writer, and Zack Snyder as a director. Now, Zack Snyder had this dream of something epic and something modern. It's the interesting thing about stuff like this is that they are a result of their time. So when people mention, and when the people you are talking to people that are into comic book industry, it's something like Silver Age, Silver Age, Silver Age, Silver Age. I don't see anything interesting about the Silver Age. But the thing about the nostalgia about it is that it's a result of their time, and People at that time found it, at least the writer of that time found it something that can relate to the younger audience and can also create a sense of dynamic and sense of something interesting, something unique to the older audience. Now, it's not the normal movie you are fond of. It's 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 not the normal books you are fond of. It's a graphic novel about someone wearing a pants outside with a red cape and he's flying. Also, at the time, he's hopping and there's this kind of over exaggerated reality. So, as a young one, you might want to be interested in it. Now, another thing that I learned about the history about this silver eye thing is that during that time, some of those comics had a kind of messaging to it, whether it's leaning to one particular political spectrum to another political spectrum. They want you to be part of the military. They want you to love your country. They want you to see your country as like, oh, this thing doesn't really matter what you think about it. All I know is that at that time there was a particular direction culture was shifting. Now, whether or not you go back in time and see that, oh, that thing is bad or that thing is great, let's go back to that thing, let's stay away from that thing. It doesn't really matter. All you need to know is that at that time there was something that was there, and the 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 people that were pushing culture was pushing what they feel was great for that time. Now, Zack Snyder on the other hand saw that I can push what is great for this particular time, which was the epicness, the, the brooding Superman, the Superman that feels that he has the weight of the shoulder around him, and any small outburst, he can destroy the entire planet. So he kept to himself. And I'm not going to lie, Man of Steel was great. It's like when you're talking about a superhero movie, someone like myself can watch. If it's between, I should go back to the Christopher Reeves movie. No matter how much you want to hype it, and you put Zack Snyder on, and you put Christopher Reeves on, someone my age would always choose the Zack Snyder one because it feels modern. You can see it from the CGI, you can see it from the way the characters interact, the way the character behave. So it feels like something that was made for that particular time. And this is the interesting thing I love about this conversation. I find it weird and I also love it is that the way older people talk about the superhero thing, you would think that, oh, we are still living, those movies were made last week. But the thing is that they relate to those particular thing as of that time. You look at uh Zack Snyder movies and it's something that you feel that this is my thing. You relate to it. It was made for you and you chose to love it, and obviously it's going to be your thing. But when people go about and they go like um this particular age is goofy, I'm like, it's not for you. You don't have to love it. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing you've ever seen in life. Obviously, it wasn't made for you. The people that it was made for love it. It doesn't matter where you stand in the comic book argument. It doesn't matter what side you are on. That thing was made for the people it was made for, and that was not you. And the people, and it was also made for the time it was made for, and that's also not you. So people love the Zack Snyder movie. They love the Zack Snyder Man of Steel, and over the years, we realized that while Zack Snyder was like one of the greatest things that happened to the comic book industry, at least for a Marvel, for a DC fan, it's not translating well as at that time. Because now you can look at the audience score. The audience loved the first Man of Steel 7.1, and when you go to Um, Voting Tomatoes. Let's check. It's going to. Okay. So it's ranking. Yes. Okay, yeah. This is the critics themselves. They hated it. Now that was the dilemma Warner Brothers was facing. Now the Man of Steel, obviously, compared to the first MCU movie, this one still had like the ratio was still a bit higher. So you can say that this particular stuff was okay compared to the one Marvel was on about. So obviously there was something that the business they saw themselves, that was Warner Brothers at the time. They saw something that they could they, there was like there was a way forward for them as a business. So what did they do? They told Zack Snyder, "Yo, can you build a universe with this thing?" And he was like, "Let's see, I can do something." Now that's where their problem um starts falling apart, because on social media, I just lost my rights. Anyway, I had to clear the place. Don't blame me. What was I saying? On social media, what was I saying? Well, this was the beginning of, yeah, on social media. I made a critic that about the Man of Steel. Man of Steel was great. I loved the epics. There were some things that were misunderstood about people that hated it, but Batman vs Superman was like where everything just, because how will you start with Man of Steel? Great, people loved it. People want more of it. Then he said, I'm going to bring Batman into this universe. I'm not going to make a Batman movie. I'm not going to do anything related to Batman where we can be teasing Batman little by little. But we're just going to bring him to Batman versus Superman. I said on my social media that Batman versus Superman was too dark. Man of Steel was dark. In fact, the entire DCU was a bit dark, and it took them a while before they had to get themselves, because of Man of Steel with 55, Batman vs Superman with 44. The audience is 7.1, Batman vs Superman is 6.4. Batman vs Superman was a big mistake. Everyone knows it. You don't, there's no glazing or hating or anything when it comes to saying the truth about Batman vs Superman. It was it's all kind of wrong, especially when you are trying to build something that people want to gravitate towards. The DC fans want the DC things, and you created this hype about the greatest thing in the universe, which is Batman and Superman coming together and to fight each other. What was word finance? Because I've done word finance. But no, my Superman um is a Superman that if he let go, if he doesn't control his emotion, the entire world can destroy. You built up that thing. We've known that. Then the fight scenes with Batman, it made no sense. The way Batman was, this was to stop killing, because that was something that I complained about. This is not the Batman I was familiar with. The Batman that I know. I know that there was something that can be done with Batman. I know that there's a story that can be made with Batman. But all of a sudden, they decide that no, we're not going to go that route. We're going to go the route where Our Batman is dark. Our Batman is the kind of Batman for it is was actually a criminal. Like it made no sense. Now they said that they want to do something next. And what was that thing then? They, oh, I made this mistake. I made this mistake. I made this mistake. I made this mistake. Please are going to give me a bit. I'm trying to. This life keeps shutting off, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm still live.